We've just seen yet another flip-flopping by the Labour leader, Keir Starmer. Yes, when it comes to wishy-washy nonsense, it's not just Rishi Sunak that we have to worry about, it's also the potential next Prime Minister of this country, Keir Starmer. It's absolutely fascinating what's going on with the Labour Party and of course the Tory government at the same time, but Keir Starmer's changed his position on a number of things on a regular basis. The latest is about the conflict between Gaza and Israel. Yes, one day Keir Starmer is sitting on the fence, doesn't say much. The next day he says Israel has a right to defend itself. Then the next day he says, oh, well, there's potential genocide happening maybe. I don't know, well, we'll look into it. But then we need ceasefire. Then they go back and say, no, we support Israel. And then they say, ceasefire, forever, permanent ceasefire. This is his latest speech because he's seen what's going on in the by-elections. He's losing the Islamic vote. So he's come out to say, we need a permanent ceasefire.
An end to the fighting, not just now, not just for a pause, but permanently. A ceasefire that lasts, conference, that is what must happen now. The fighting must stop now.
Okay, let me get this right. We had a ceasefire, and permanent, that was supposed to be a permanent ceasefire, on the 6th of October 2023. What happened a few hours later? Somebody broke that ceasefire. I wonder who that was. So if you want to call for a ceasefire, you only have one group to target, and that is the leadership of Hamas.
Our conference. Any ceasefire cannot be one-sided. It must stop all acts of violence on both sides, and it must lead to a genuine peace process.
Well, on the plus side, he actually mentioned both sides, so that's good. On the negative part, he just repeated what he already said. I think that's what's going to happen in the speech. He's just going to repeat the same thing over and over and over again.
Because the offensive threatened on Rafah, a place where 1.5 million people are now cramped together in unimaginable conditions, with nowhere else for them to go, this cannot become a new theatre of war.
It's literally the same thing, he's just changing the words. He's basically just repeating the same. The whole speech is, we need a permanent ceasefire. Well, that's good to know. That's very good to know. This is the next Prime Minister, probably. So, the issue I have with this is that he was reading from a teleprompter. What's going on with our politicians, our career professional politicians? Over the last few decades, we've seen this happening on a regular basis. Back in the days of Churchill and many others as well, before and after, the whole point of teleprompters or some sort of written speech was supposed to be for either announcing something technical, like a budget in Parliament, or where there was supposed to be a meaningful, detailed speech that was supposed to be carefully worded. Not every single speech, not basic rhetoric. If I can sit here and talk to you guys about how I'm thinking or feeling about what's going on, about anything, I'm sure Keir Starmer or Rishi Sunak or any of those other professional career politicians could stand there on the platform and just say it. Why does he have to read word for word? This is the problem. They probably don't even know what they're reading it until the last second at this point. It's so embarrassing. If you just want to say, we need ceasefire, do you really need to actually have it written down? Or you could just stand there like a normal person, like an actual leader, and talk to the public. Everything is clinical, everything is pre-planned, and this is why the whole of the political system, the political class, are failing us. Because they have to be managed by the others.